A simple yet enjoyable title. Deleveled is the first game developed by the indie studio Toasterfield, and I have to say, you might want to check it out. Before I get any further into the video, I'm your host, Justin, otherwise known as IDontBeatGames, and I'm here to bring that nerd culture content right to your monitors. I'd also like to disclose that the game's publisher sent me a review copy. Get ready because this name is a mouthful. They're the Quantum Astrophysicists Guild, and you can check out more of their games if you like this one. Not that this will change the review by any means, but I thought you, the viewer, should know. Going into Deleveled, I didn't know if this would be a game that would mesh with me considering I don't play puzzle games often, but I'm happy to say that I was wrong about this. There's a charm to Deleveled. In fact, it really made me think out how I could reach possible solutions while playing this game. There were times while playing Deleveled that as soon as I would mess up, I would instantly restart that level. That way I could try new possible methods out and potentially reach that specific level solution. Even when I was stuck on a level, I would sit there trying to think out possible outcomes and mentally predict whether or not my ideas would work out. Of course, when I wasn't sure if an idea of mine would work out or not, I'd actually test it, only to eventually find out that I was wrong. But hey, it's not about how long it takes to complete a level, alright? As soon as you start Deleveled, it throws you right into the tutorial and it teaches you the mechanics of the game. The controls are fairly simple. You move with the left or right directional arrow keys to move the two squares. You press R to reset the level. When you get the two squares that you control to line up on the switches, you press space to complete the level, and that's really it. However, one of my favorite mechanics of this title is their star system. When you complete a level, you normally get a check mark whether you complete it without dying multiple times or not. However, when you do happen to complete a level without dying, the game gives you a star. You can only get a star when this happens, and as soon as you die, you see a little animation of the star cutting in half to remind you of this. Now you might be wondering, what is the point of gathering these stars, right? Well, the cool thing about gathering these stars is that it creates replayability for this title. You're gonna wanna go back and gather these stars because at the end of each page from the level select screen, which by the way, there's 10 full pages of levels and well over 100 levels to complete, there's an unlockable level that you can play only if you gather a star for every level in that page. In case you're wondering, yes, I have gone back to do this because I was so hell-bent on gathering these stars, and I have almost 3 full pages of stars gathered with the unlockable level completed. There were plenty of times when I thought that there was no way I'd complete a level because of the fact that some levels were a little intimidating as soon as you start them, but it turns out I was wrong. A lot of the trial and error that I did while playing this game only motivated me further to try and complete whatever level I was stuck on. Sure, sometimes I even had to take a break from Deleveled because I couldn't figure out one of the levels, but I would be lying if I said I didn't wake up on a new day wanting to overcome whatever level I was stuck on. And when I did complete a level I was previously stuck on, you're absolutely wrong if you think that I didn't give myself a round of applause. I worked hard on solving those levels, don't judge me, alright? Another enjoyable thing about Deleveled is the fact that as you progress through a page filled with levels, they were teaching you small tricks that help you figure out the levels on a new page. In example, on the third page of levels, they introduced something new to increase the difficulty of solving levels. There were directional barriers added that you could only pass through in a certain direction, and if you passed them, you couldn't backtrack your steps. Sure, this was a little intimidating at first, but with the experiences of the previous pages, I was able to figure out some of these levels on the third page quicker than I could solve levels on pages 1 or 2. All it took was some time, trial, and error. The next thing you know, I was star hunting on the third page, trying to fully collect the stars to unlock that star level. And if you couldn't tell by now, I'm a completionist. I enjoy doing these types of things, alright? Deleveled actually contains a few more things that are worth mentioning when you pay attention to the detail of this simple yet thought-provoking indie title. The first thing I'd love to mention is the fact that when you turn on one of the many switches in a level, the colorful background does some cool animation. I don't know what it is about these animations, but they always put a smile on my face whenever I turn the switches on. The next thing I'd like to mention are the accessibility options in the menu. When you go to the options, there's 2 certain things that might make a difference for people. Firstly, there's a colorblind mode, and for a game that's as colorful as Deleveled, seeing that the developers thought of those who may be colorblind while making this game is a feels-good moment to me, you know? Secondly, this game has so many options for languages. There's languages that I personally didn't even know of, and I literally sat there scrolling through the entire list just to see how many languages this game supported. So don't worry if you prefer using a different language for whatever reason, odds are Deleveled probably has it in the options menu. Deleveled is a blast. It's a fun game that really makes you think, and it reminds me of the old days when I looked for fun puzzle games to play on my PC before I heavily got into gaming. If you haven't figured it out by now, yes, you should check out the physics-based puzzle platformer Deleveled. Deleveled is currently available for $10 as we speak, and you might be wondering, where can I find this game? Well, I'm happy to report that you can find Deleveled on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch. For you PC gamers, you can play it on Windows, Mac, Steam OS, and Linux. On screen, you can see all of the PC specs required to play Toasterfield's puzzle game, Deleveled. As always, I'm your host, Justin, otherwise known as IDontBeatGames, and I'm here to bring that nerd culture content right to your monitors. If you enjoyed this video game review, hit that thumbs up button. If you really enjoyed it, hit that sub button. If you have any questions about Deleveled, hit the comment section. I'll respond, I promise. As always, keep it real with nothing but peace, love, and positivity. I'll see y'all next video.